I've been a motorcycle racing fan since 1983. Basically the first year I learned how to ride, and I just wanted to absorb everything about motorcycles, and that naturally included racing. And obviously I was a motorcyclist and I rode my motorcycle all the time. And I've pretty much watched every single race from then to today. I left and I realized that I forgot to charge my set of 10C Pro, which is what we got right here, which is what you're watching me from. So, as you can tell, it's late in the year up here in New England. All the leaves are gone. It's exactly 1 month away from Christmas. And I wanted to do a little moto vlogging on a subject that I really love. So the title of this video is going to be Lorenzo is Gone. And that's referring to Jorge Lorenzo, number 99, MotoGP racer, former world champion. And this past weekend was the final race of the year for MotoGP for the three most popular race classes that I watch: MotoGP, World Superbike, and AMA Superbike, or Moto America, I guess they call it now. So this past weekend was the final race of the year from all those three series, MotoGP, and it was another Marc Marquez win. Pretty uneventful race, with the exception of just a few days prior, Jorge Lorenzo announced that he was retiring, which I guess should be a surprise, maybe, or maybe not. I mean, I was a little surprised. I thought he was going to do much better on the Honda, but I guess the injuries that he's sustained from previous crashes was just a little too much for him, or maybe he got spooked. I'm not sure, but you know, I was never a fan of Jorge, number 99, when he was racing. I acknowledge that he was an awesome rider and won a couple of MotoGP titles, 250 titles. But I was actually a little sad to see him retire. And so this I kind of want to talk a little bit about motorcycle racing, MotoGP, those three series. And my biggest question, I'm hoping I can stimulate some conversations here, is if you're a motorcyclist, does that automatically make you a motorcycle racing fan? And can you be a motorcycle racing fan but not ride motorcycles? So this past weekend was the final race of the year, where Jorge Lorenzo raced his final MotoGP race on the Honda, Repsol Honda. And he announced his retirement. So MotoGP has started to become a little bit boring. I know that's weird to say when you got motorcycles approaching 200 miles an hour, lean angles of 60 degrees or more, incredibly fast lap times. But the actual racing has not been very good, and the championships have been pretty boring. You know, Marc Marquez just won his 4th championship in a row. Last year was a little more entertaining, I think. But this year was pretty much Marquez's season right from the start. He had that spill in Austin, which he came away with no points, and I thought, well, maybe this would be a good year for Dovey or even Rossi to mount a challenge, but it never really happened. So, and with one more loss of a great rider, Lorenzo, let's face it, the guy was, even though he struggled this year tremendously on that Honda, last year he was on the Ducati, and I think he won 3 races. But he struggled the first year on the Ducati, and then all of a sudden, actually once he announced he was leaving the Ducati team and going to Honda is when he started doing really well. And so he lost another potential race winner with Lorenzo retiring. Rossi, as huge a fan of his that I am, you know what, he's going to be 41, I think, this coming year. His days are numbered, obviously. You know, he's done an amazing job as he's gotten older. But I think it's been 2 years since his last win at Assen, I believe, or was it last year, a year and a half ago? So that kind of leads me to think, like, what is the answer for these race series? Because you have World Superbike with Johnny Ray. He's won 4 in a row, I believe. And this year it looked like Bautista was going to upset that cart, but it looked like it was going to go towards the other end with the Ducati, because Bautista won the first 6 races or something like that, won every pole, and it just, you know, it seemed like we were going to go from Johnny Ray to Bautista, which obviously he started crashing. Ray was always number 2 in those race wins with Bautista, and ended up winning his 4th or 5th championship in a row. World Superbike, up until Johnny Ray started winning, was one of the best series to watch. Had the closest racing. Every year seemed like a new champion on a different make, or at least a different guy on a different Ducati, right? So Ducati had a good run there, but the racing was really good, you know. Then you had things like Matt Spiaggi coming from MotoGP, hopping on a World Superbike, winning the championship twice. Nicky Hayden, rest in peace, came out of the MotoGPs, went to World Superbike. He won 1 race, I believe, before tragically he lost his life. But and then let's go back to AMA Superbike. You had this year was pretty good. You know, I'm a huge Tony Elias fan, and actually all my fans from all the race series, Tony Elias in AMA Superbike came close, but lost the championship to Cameron Bovia. Marco Melandri on the Yamaha, thought he was going to do something this year on the World Superbike. That didn't turn out very well for him. My assumptions is his days are probably numbered as well. And Valentino Rossi on MotoGP is my standard fan. Although I am a Dovey fan because I'm a Ducati guy, I got to support him. But I'm pretty much a Rossi fan in MotoGP. So, or Zarco. Zarco was non-existent for a little while. So now that Lorenzo is retired, Marquez isn't going anywhere. He just won his 4th championship on the Repsol Honda. Rossi is in his early 40s. Is there anybody out there that's going to challenge Marquez? Fabio Quartararo? Is he going to get a real ride next year? Or is he just like a flash in the pan? Kind of like Zarco, when Zarco hit the series on the Tech 3 Yamaha and was winning poles. And is there someone that's gonna spicing up the MotoGP series? Or are we in for a Marquez / Agostini type run where he might win 6 or 7 championships in a row and just dominate. And if he does do that, is that going to be a nail in the coffin for MotoGP racing? You know, I went to the Austin race last year, which is an amazing facility in Austin. Great racetrack. Doesn't really lend itself to a racetrack where you see a lot of passing, so it's not like the most exciting. But when you're a kid in America and that's the only chance you get to watch Valentino Rossi or Marquez and these, you know, top of the line race bikes, then when you're there, you really don't care because you're at the event. But does the lack of good racing cause people to lose interest in the series? And on top of that, is there any correlation between that and motorcycle sales? And if I haven't asked any clear questions, here's a few of them to think about. If you're a motorcycle rider, does that automatically make you a race fan? And if you are a race fan, depending on the type of racing and how good it is, or if your favorite racer wins, whether it's races, championships, does that influence your decision on purchasing motorcycles? That old adage of win on Sunday, sell it on Monday, is that true anymore?